every adult girl in the village was sent into the mountain cave to marry the god. But strangely, each girl had to be physically inspected by the elders and blindfolded before entering. Yet very few ever returned pregnant with the god's child, and even those who did were so weak they wouldn't survive past 6 months. So whenever the god chose a bride, families with daughters would flee the village. But one girl volunteered to be the god's wife. The problem was, her older sister had already been chosen last year, which made her ineligible. Still, after her repeated pleas, the village chief finally agreed to let her go. Unbeknownst to them, her real reason was to uncover the truth behind her sister's death. When her mother heard she was willing to sacrifice herself for the god, she was overjoyed. To ensure the girl would be chosen and become pregnant, the mother brought people to check if the girl was still physically pure. But upon entering her room, they found a pile of books under her blanket. The girl quickly explained they were books on enhancing fertility. Because no one in years had survived after carrying the god's child, she had no choice but to turn to outside knowledge. Seeing her daughter so confident, the mother began sharing the rituals from her own wedding night with the god, warning her any mistake could cost her life. She then ordered the girl to bathe and prepare. But while packing, the mother was startled to find a tracker in the girl's box. Still, she brushed it off, thinking only about her daughter conceiving the god's child. After a full physical inspection, the mother brought the girl to the gathering of village elders. There, they demanded she change into the ceremonial dress in front of everyone. The girl felt deeply uneasy. Stripping in public was humiliating, but the mother claimed the elders were merely acting on behalf of the god, and passing their test was essential. With no choice, the girl stood frozen as they undressed her like a puppet. Watching their expressions, she began to suspect the cave's secret was tightly connected to the elders. Once they finished, she was dressed in the wedding robe. The village chief gave the command to escort her to the god. Soon they reached the foot of the mountain, but the terrain was too steep, so they had to walk the rest of the way. On the trail, the girl sensed something was wrong, so she pretended to trip and scraped her palm. The village chief seemed suspicious. He quickly covered her eyes with a red cloth. What he didn't know was that she had marked the trail with her blood, hoping her future rescuer would find her. They eventually reached the entrance of the cave. The chief paused, turned to her again, and confirmed her desire to marry the god. She vowed she would carry the god's child and return alive with his blessing. The chief beamed with satisfaction, gave her a few final instructions, and sent her into the darkness. The moment she stepped inside, she sensed something was off. She quickly removed the blindfold, and what she saw shocked her to the core.